Happy Mercury retrograde. This is honestly my third attempt in recording this video. The first one I did, I completely lost the video. I don't even know where it went. It just disappeared. So glitches are already happening because we have officially entered Mercury retrograde in Pisces today, February 26th. The shadow has been building since I believe February 11th. However, today you might really starting to be feeling it. And this one, this one feels different. It's softer, it's kind of foggy, more emotional. And Mercury rules communication. It rules the mind. And I'm a Gemini, so trust me, I feel this one intensely. But this retrograde isn't happening in a logical sign, it's happening in Pisces. And Pisces doesn't think in straight lines. Pisces feels, it dreams, it remembers in poetry. So if, the past feels close right now, that makes sense. If old relationships are resurfacing in your thoughts or even in your dreams, that makes sense too. For me personally, I've had past connections showing up in my reality and in my dreams. Not necessarily because they're meant to return, but because something is being processed internally. And Pisces retrograde energy, doesn't always bring people back into your life physically, although it can. Sometimes it brings them back emotionally so you can actually finally release them and release that pattern. And this is where it gets subtle. Pisces can blur the lines between intuition and between fantasy. And you might find yourself thinking, what if this could work? What if they've changed? What if it was just the timing? And that could be true to everything. Maybe they have. However, retrograde isn't about rewriting the past. It's about reviewing it. And I shared something recently on one of my stories that feels very aligned with this energy. It was, your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings. I'll say that again. Your self-respect has to be stronger than your feelings. And that doesn't mean you shut your feelings down. It means that you honor them without letting them override your clarity. Because Pisces can make that past feel super romantic. It's like the Knight of Cups. It can make the memory softer than the actual reality. It can make the potential feel more powerful than the pattern. But this season is asking you to feel deeply and still at the end of that, choose yourself. We just moved through eclipse energy. We're in this push-pull between reflection and forward motion. So if things feel layered emotionally or like a little chaotic, you're not crazy. You are integrating. So if someone from the past is resurfacing in your dreams or in your DMs or whatever that looks like, even in your mind, ask yourself, is this about them? Or ask yourself this, is this about who I've become or who I'm becoming? Retrograde isn't always about reconciliation. Sometimes it's about resolution. And sometimes the closure isn't a conversation. It's a choice. So, if you're feeling this energy, comment retrograde below or tell me what's been resurfacing for you. And with that, let's get into seeing what the cards have to say about this retrograde energy particularly. I don't know what's going on with the weather. Like my tripod almost fell over. I have my feet on it right now. It was sunny out when I first started. The first video I did was great. Lost it. So now I'm redoing it and might have to wrap up and go inside because the wind is picking up here. Yeah, actually, I'm going to continue the cards inside because they're just going to fly away. So give me a sec. All right. So I moved in a different area. Hopefully the wind doesn't knock everything over again. It's just so interesting, you think about Mercury. Well, I mean, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. I'm a Gemini, so I can relate to this. And Gemini is all about, it's an air sign technically. And then we have this wind happening, which is very fitting. Anyways, back to the cards. I'm going to give them one shuffle just to kind of get things going here. I already shuffled them and cleansed them before we started, but all right. Universe, guardian angels, spirit guides, ancestors, star family, 5D family of the collective. What does the collective need to know about this Mercury retrograde? What do they need to know? Let's see here. And of course, I bring my lightest deck outside. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot. It's like the thinnest, lightest deck. When I came out here, it was perfectly calm. It was sunny. Who was my first recording? Whoop! Drop something. Oh, the devil. Okay, so this is so fitting with what I was talking about in the intro about um, past relations, past energies, past patterns, people resurfacing for you to review and not to get stuck in that Pisces energy of like, oh, but what if they changed, or what if this time it's different, and what if this is going to work. It's like, don't get stuck in and trapped in the fantasy thinking of like what this could be. And this doesn't have to be about romance. Like, I'm talking about romance because we're in February, and I think that energy is in the air where people are hopeful and hanging on to things. But it could be any relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be a romantic, or sorry, not a romantic relationship. It could be like a family member. It could be work situation. It could be anything. But I really feel like this might call to a lot of you who are hanging on to energies that were romantic. And this devil energy is saying, like, be careful what story you're telling yourself about how this possibly could have gone or how it might go. You need to look at the reality of the situation. What has the actions shown you so far? And are they showing with their actions now that things have actually changed? Or is it just their words? Or is it just the ideal you're holding? Let's see what else we have here. My words today are hilarious. Like, I'm mispronouncing things. English is like my first language, but it doesn't feel like it. So, you might be struggling. It doesn't matter what sign you are, whether you're Gemini or Virgo. You might be struggling with articulating, being able to communicate effectively and clearly. And that's Mercury. Mercury rules the mind. Again, anything else for the collective spirit? Anything else you want them to know? Maybe clarifying this devil energy. Nope, something's coming out. I don't want to drop it. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. So yeah, I mean, you could be feeling that passion that you once experienced coming back up, whether just in fantasy or in your dreams, and thinking like, oh, but like there were times where it was so incredible with them, or I could imagine it being so amazing with them. So that inspiration of like that hope around, oh, but what if it could be this? What if it could just be like the best couple in the world? Or what if this friendship is, better than what I think it actually is? Or what if this job is, gonna go in the direction of what I need to pacify my nervous system and my stability? But is it? What if this is about you actually choosing yourself and understanding that inspiration can come from within, not from outside of yourself, not from other people, not from hoping and gleaming onto something moving in direction you think it should? This is also new beginning, fresh start, new energy. Anything else the collective needs to know? I just saw 6 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, you might be having some past energies coming back in. You might be in nostalgia, reminiscing. Oh, that was close. 2 cards that I caught. We have the 5 of Wands. So that's like that inner conflict, that inner turmoil of like, I know they weren't healthy for me. I know that it destabilized me. In some cases, I know for me, I know it almost destroyed me. But what if? But what if it's different? What if it could change? Then we have right after that, the Daughter of Swords. So that's the Page of Swords. And it's like, okay, but like clarity and reality, can be very different of the fantasy. So the being pulled in different directions can be very common right now. You might be, yeah, I made the decision. I'm not going to come back to them. I'm moving forward. And then they come back in, or energy comes back in from them, whether it's just thoughts in your own head, or they're viewing your stories or liking your stories, or they're messaging you, or they're coming back in your dreams. And you're like, oh, but what if, and that's really to understand that all these ideas can be spiraling. The possibilities of what life could be without them, the possibilities of what life could be with them. But clarity is really at the forefront of what needs to happen here. One last card for the collective. One last card, maybe advice. An advice card. This is sticking in my hand. And we have the High Priestess. This is the perfect advice if you think about it. We have the number 2. Number 2 is like unconditional love, self-love. Sometimes 2 can mean divine union. So shutting out all these energies, so that you can allow in healthy energy. But the high priestess is really like connecting with your higher self through meditation, through reflection, through deep introspection, not fantasizing. And not saying those fantasies are bad and like shutting yourself down and be like, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this. I'm bad for thinking this. It's like, okay, think it. Journal about why are you thinking about this? Okay, and then what need do you have within that these thoughts are coming from? Because usually it's an unmet need within. It's an unmet need within. It could be an unmet need within your inner child, within your inner adolescent. So maybe it's going back and revisiting. I think it's really important to be revisiting your inner child and inner adolescent and taking responsibility for them and visiting them through meditation, looking at pictures of your past self when you were a child and adolescent, imagining in your mind, going and meeting your inner child, asking your inner child what they need. What do they need to feel heard, accepted, loved? Because that could be the whole reality of all of this. The reason this, devil energy is coming about is probably from this unmet need from within. And so discovering what that unmet need is so you can get to the bottom of it, so that you can actually find out, why is this pattern happening in my life in the first place, so that you can bring in healthier energy. This is beautiful. This is incredible. Okay, let's wrap this up with an angel oracle card, and hopefully these cards don't fly away on me. Oh, bottom of the deck, Ace of Pentacles. Look at that. We have 2 aces. So, 2 aces can be yes to any question you're asking. Be careful with that. Don't get into a fantasy question, the reality question of things. And it's also new beginnings, and new beginnings rooting in to more prosperous outcomes. So, again, my mind's having a hard time articulating what I want to say with this retrograde. Oh my gosh. But really believing that you deserve more and actually seeing the fruition of it because you respect yourself. You have to respect yourself and love yourself first in order for those things to come to fruition. So, new beginning in believing in yourself and healing yourself and taking responsibility for your inner child, your inner adolescent, and accepting what has happened so that you can move on. Okay, Angel Oracle. I am getting cold out here. Oh, it went from being nice to cold. It's well, I'm in Canada here, so it's like 3 degrees Celsius, probably colder with the wind. And in tomorrow, it's going to drop down to -18. So I'm trying to soak in this nice day. Okay, this is what came out. You're going to love this. 2 2 2 2. So 4 twos. 2 2 2 2. Good vibes. I literally just posted a reading with this card recently. So the fact that it came out of this deck again is double confirmation. And, we just had the High Priestess is a number 2. 2. Ace of Wands twice. Ace, ace, plus, plus, 2. So this card, good vibes, self-love, boundaries, needs, good vibes, wisdom, understanding, and letting go. Oh my gosh, like, of all the cards to get today, like, seriously, nurture yourself, your needs, desires, and boundaries. Let go of things that are weighing you down. Make space for something meaningful and expand your spirit to all areas of your life. That big love, opportunity, or job needs to squeeze in somewhere. Like, of all, I kind of have to laugh because my last video got caught again. Good thing I didn't lose it, but I was trying to wrap up my thoughts about this 222, and then it just stopped recording. And a part of me is like super frustrated, but I also have to laugh because it's day 1 of Mercury retrograde, and I'm having like major technology glitches where my phone didn't record my first video at all. It actually it recorded it and I was reviewing it, and then it just disappeared. So it just like disappeared into thin air. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Then the wind picks up, knocks my tripod over during the second route of recording. And then now it's nice and calm out. And yeah, time to wrap up this reading. So we finished the 222, but we also had 111 right after it, which is honesty, life goals, mission, sense of self, honesty, important projects. It's that time of intense self-development. Focus your mind on your craft. You already have what it takes to succeed. But practice makes you a master. It also serves to find your true purpose. Leveling up in your career or business is a priority right now. And, that's what I was talking about. It's like making sure that you're focusing on you. I know it's tough when nostalgia comes back in. Like we had that Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck when I was shuffling. It's tough when nostalgia comes back in and when you get roped into those previous energies, but it's distracting you from your goals, from your life's purpose, from your mission, from, where you can be exploring new paths in your career, your work, new relationships possibly coming in. So really, as tough, as hard as it is, try your best to go within, focus on yourself, focus that energy inwards, and getting the double aces. Ace of what do we hear? We had Ace of Wands, we had Ace of Pentacles. It's that new beginning energy. 111, fresh starts, alignment, and being honest with yourself about the reality of the situation, not the fantasy of it, but the reality of it. So yeah, let's wrap it up. Oh, bottom of the deck, 505, finish line. Reset, relaxation, unknown surrender, finish line, success, victory. It serves as a timely reminder that anything can be accomplished if you can dream it. There is no reason you can't make it a reality. If something's in the possession of another person, it is also available to you. So try to remain calm. What is meant for you won't pass you by. Let go of tension. Where is that card? I'm missing a card here. Hopefully I didn't drop it on the floor. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but we had 222, 111, and now 505 at the finish line. Like, focus inward, focus on yourself, because you are so much closer than you think you are. And I truly believe in you. I hope you can believe in yourself. There's that saying about you will start to believe in yourself more and more the more you act. The more you act, even when you don't want to, even when you want to focus on them and the past. Put something grounding in, do an action towards your future. Sending you lots of love and light. Take care.